What's up, everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Football Office Hours presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined by my co-host, Josh, and we are here today to do nothing but answer your fantasy questions for the next, 3 years-ish.
Yeah, it depends how many questions you have, but I like answering questions. I could do it for 3 years straight. I'm in, Simon.
I love answering questions. It is a good one. For those of you watching who have not tuned in to us before, we are Front Yard Fantasy. We are live Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time every day on the Front Yard Fantasy YouTube and Twitch channels, playing fantasy football related games. We've got a game show over there, and then 2 days a week, Tuesday and Thursday, we are also live here answering your questions. That's what we're doing now. And Brad, we will help. He said, guys, help, please. We are here to help. Just put your questions.
That's what we're here for, Brad.
Craig is starting us off with the one. He said, I'm 4-1 in an orphan team I took over. Recently made this trade, going for it now in a Superflex tight end premium. Traded Jerry Jeudy in 2 2022 firsts for Gronk, Zeke, and Keenan. And here's his team. He gave us some more information for us to better understand this. And Josh and I were talking about this a little bit before the stream. Craig, Josh, you want to say what you said about his team and why you like this trade?
Yeah, well, first of all, he's 4-1 in an orphan team. And just in case anyone doesn't know, an orphan team is a team the owner kind of gave up. They said, I'm out of this league. And Craig, he obviously wanted to get in the league, or someone reached out to him to join this orphan team that didn't have an owner, didn't have a team manager running it. And so he took over for this. So it's probably his first year managing this team. Just to give you a little context, but I like this trade from a 4-1, you're going for the championship this year. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. You traded away Jerry Jeudy and 2022 first round picks, but it's a Superflex tight end premium league. So it does make those first round picks even more valuable, but when you're going for it, it makes so much sense. Jerry Jeudy, I love him from a dynasty perspective, but Keenan Allen's going to be better this year. Yep. Gronk, I think once he's healthy, he's a borderline top 5 tight end. I'm willing to put him in there once he's healthy. And then Zeke, we all know how good Zeke is. So this is a good trade. It's a good trade.
Yep. For a competing team, this is exactly the kind of move you want to make. Those firsts and Jerry Jeudy are doing nothing for you to win this year. And I think people forget with Dynasty all the time that you're not just trying to win next year. You're also trying to win this year. It's okay to sell a little bit of your future for a win now. We see NFL teams do it all the time, right? That is 100% viable in a Dynasty league. This year's championship counts just as much as next year's. I love this trade, Craig. I think this is a great trade for a competing team. Mike
I'm sorry. Can you go to his team real fast?
Yes.
To highlight something. When we look at his team here, he's pretty weak on wide receiver, in my opinion.
Yep.
I believe that's Antonio Brown. It might be AJ Brown. Regardless, that's a great wide receiver one you have. Cordero Patterson can be played at both positions, which is nice. But the rest of these guys we can't really trust. So getting Keenan Allen on this team really makes a difference.
And he has to start 3 wide receivers and 2 flexes. So I like turning basically like just startable assets. You're turning Jerry Jeudy into 3 players that you're likely starting every single week. That is a great trade for a competing team. Mike in here says, choose one half PPR for RB2, Carson, Edmonds, Pollard, Madison. I like Madison if Cook is out, but otherwise I'm leaning Edmonds. Thoughts? You hit my thoughts right on the head, Mike. Madison if Cook is out, otherwise it's Edmonds for me. Josh, how do you feel?
Absolutely. I completely agree. Madison if Cook's out.
The workload Madison has been getting is insane while Cooks has been out. Or Dalvin Cook. Sorry, I said Cooks. I hate when people add the S for no reason. He's been getting the full workload.
Dalvin Cook almost without Dalvin Cook in there. Almost. Dalvin Cook's probably a little bit more talented.
He's Diet Cook.
He's Diet Cook. That's actually... Is that Madison's your nickname? Diet Cook?
That's what we're doing now.
I love it.
It kind of works. Diet sounds like Dalvin, and then Cook and Coke are pretty close as well. It's multifaceted, that nickname.
Now, I do want to bring up Chris Carson real fast. Some people might feel like he's the correct answer because he's, it looks like he might be playing this week, but I do not trust Chris Carson whatsoever this week until we see the team actually give him the carries. And I do expect the team to run the ball more, but Chris Carson has a neck injury, and that's very serious for a running back. I could see him getting 10 carries even if he does play, and if he's not getting in the end zone on 10 carries, he's not going to be a guy you want to start. It's definitely Edmonds for me.
There we go. Hope that was helpful, Mike. Brad, his question, he said, I have Fournette and Woods, and someone else in his league wants those two players for Christian McCaffrey and Mooney. He wants to know, so he would have Saquon, CMC, and Mixon, but does today's setback mean anything bad term for CMC? So Brad, Josh's face says it all, especially with your team having Saquon and Mixon. You can handle CMC sitting out another week or two. With the running backs you have.
Saquon's not going to be playing.
Oh, you're right. Saquon's not going to be playing because of the ankle. That does make this a little bit trickier, but I'm still taking this trade. I'm if this means anything for me long-term from CMC, I think it's a good thing. They're being careful not to rush him back so that he is healthy rest of season. I'm not worried about CMC long-term. I'm taking this trade. Fournette and Woods for CMC and Mooney. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, you don't like seeing this CMC, the Christian McCaffrey setback, right? But he is the running back 1 or 2 when he's healthy. Talking about Derrick Henry in terms of which one you're going to pick, but Christian McCaffrey is going to be so good when he does come back. So I'm actually fine with him taking another week off. Yes, do this trade. Fournette has been great. He's looked really good, but he's nowhere near. He's not in the same realm as Christian McCaffrey and Robert Woods. I believe he's going to be inconsistent throughout the season. There are going to be good games and bad games. I'm definitely making this trade.
Definitely making this trade. Yeah, I agree with you there, Josh. Hopefully that was helpful, Brad. Jake wants to know, do I trade DeAndre Hopkins for Justin Jefferson? Straight up. DeAndre Hopkins or Justin Jefferson? Which of these players would you rather have on your team rest of season? For some context, Josh, in a PPR league right now, Justin Jefferson is the number 9 overall wide receiver. DeAndre Hopkins is the number 16. Hopkins is averaging 15.6 points per game, while Justin Jefferson is averaging 19.5. Which of these two players would you rather have on your team rest of season?
It's Justin Jefferson for me. It's not just because of what he's done this year either. We saw last year as a rookie where he set the yardage record for a rookie wide receiver. And I personally needed to see it this year. And we're seeing it. He's the wide receiver 1 on this team. He is incredibly talented. And he's just going to get more targets than DeAndre Hopkins going forward. Like Arizona is going to spread the ball around. DeAndre Hopkins is probably going to have a slightly higher ceiling every week, because he could score 2 touchdowns. He could just throw it up in the back of the end zone and he could catch it. But I'd rather have Justin Jefferson.
I think Justin Jefferson is going to be significantly more consistent for your team based on how we've seen the targets breaking down in Arizona, which is odd for DeAndre Hopkins. He's always been that absolute target monster. And don't get me wrong, he is still the number 1 target on that offense, but he is not soaking them up like he has in the past with the other receivers. They're kind of stepping up a little bit. So I'm going to go Jefferson, but don't hear what I'm not saying. DeAndre Hopkins is an excellent rest of year receiver. He's still one of those studs you're starting every single week. This is just splitting hairs between the best of the best in the NFL. I'll take Jefferson.
And I said this kind of previously, DeAndre Hopkins just in this offense is a high-powered offense. There's going to be so many opportunities for so many guys, though. And DeAndre Hopkins is never going to be the 100% focus of Kyler Murray because they get to spread it around. So if you can find even value for DeAndre Hopkins, I'm willing to do that, but they're in the same tier still.
Untamed Music wants to know, is Kadarius Toney the next Odell? He's got the attitude for it. I'm not ready to crown him the next Odell yet, but man, is he fun to watch. This is a player you need to keep your eyes on. He's got that fire, and he's obviously got that the NFL skill set. He's got a spark out there on the field that is hard to describe, but I'm not ready to crown him the next Odell Beckham yet. Josh,
crown his ass. No, sorry, I don't know what. Real thoughts on Kadarius Toney. He is awesome. He's not Odell Beckham like though. He's kind of more of a get the ball in his hands and let him work kind of guy. He's still got a lot to learn at the wide receiver position. Well, I think Odell Beckham was a little bit more refined coming into the league. I think Kadarius Toney, I said this coming into the year, he reminded me of Brandon Ayuk, and Brandon Ayuk killed it last year because he was the only guy. And if Kadarius Toney is going to get the large percentage of the target share, he's going to be great, just like Ayuk was last year.
Yep, I agree with you there. B-Dubs in here saying Khalil Herbert or Darrell Williams half PPR this week. Josh, which way are you leaning? So we just got the Damian Williams news that he's on the COVID list. So Herbert should be the starting back for the Chicago Bears, or Darrell Williams the starting back for the Chiefs with CEH out right now. The presumed starting back. Which of these guys are you starting this week?
Darrell Williams is the starting back for the Chiefs. If it was kind of proven, I mean, for me, it was proven when CAH went down and Darrell Williams got the large majority of the work. I expect him to do that the same this week in the high-powered Chiefs offense. I'm I'm ever so slightly on Darrell Williams' side, but knowing that Herbert's going to get this workload, well, we don't know that yet. We're not 100% that Damian Williams is going to be out, but he was put on the COVID list this late in the week. I expect him to not play this game. It's a tough one. It's a really tough one. They're super close now. I lean Darrell Williams.
And I'm going to go on the other side, Josh. If Damian Williams is out, I'm going to go Khalil Herbert. And it's because when you look at these two offenses, one of them can work without the running game. One of them cannot. The Chiefs offense, if they just completely abandon the run, they're still a high-powered offense. I don't think this Bears offense works without a running game, especially with Justin Fields behind center. So I think they're going to be required to lean on Khalil Herbert, whereas I don't know that the Chiefs, they could run the ball 3 times this entire game and probably still win. I'll go Khalil Herbert for that reason. I just trust the volume that he's going to get in this game. But I understand, like, this is a super close one, B-dubs. That is a close decision that you've got there.
You split us. You split. I think the first time we've been split today.
JL in here saying, howdy doody, JL. Welcome in. You got any questions for us? We'll give you the wrong answers. Just for you, though. Everyone else gets the right answer.
Everyone else gets the right stuff.
STR3 Gaming wants to know, is DeAndre Swift for Darren Waller and Zach Moss a good trade in PPR? So, Josh, which side of this trade would you prefer, DeAndre Swift or Darren Waller and Zach Moss, who's been surprisingly consistent since he missed week 1?
Zach Moss.
Zach Moss, yeah.
Referencing. He has been. It's actually kind of crazy. Zach Moss is kind of like a back-end running back 2 for me at the moment. But DeAndre Swift's a running back 1 for me. Darren Waller's been disappointing. This is a really tough trade. I would love to know what other tight end you have. I'm assuming you're getting rid of DeAndre Swift and getting Darren Waller and Zach Moss. It's a fine trade. The value is pretty even in my mind. I don't like trading DeAndre Swift. I love DeAndre Swift. But Darren Waller I love too. I'm willing to make this trade if tight end position for you is just complete crap right now.
I am probably staying on the DeAndre Swift side of this one. I love Darren Waller so much, but man, at this point in the season with the running back landscape, a stud running back like DeAndre Swift, who's healthy, people are really, really going to have to pay up for that. It would be Darren Waller plus someone a tier above Zach Moss for me to grab DeAndre Swift.
I was about to say that. If you Zach could aim for a running back, like more in the, I don't know. I mean, if you could get Darrell Henderson, that's an easy yes.
What about James Robinson?
Yes.
Like Darren Waller and James Robinson for DeAndre Swift. I would do that. That would be a great one, but it's going to need to be a tier above for me to make this trade. Not that this is undoable, but that would be the range I'm looking in. STR3 is where I'm looking. JR in here said, sorry, I'm late. Glad to have you here, JR. And he wants to know, what do you think of the Ravens running back? So Josh, you are the Ravens fan. From a fantasy perspective, what are you doing with the Ravens running backs?
Not playing them at all. They're all droppable outside of Latavius Murray, really, because he's the running back 1, and he's droppable himself. I don't want to start him right now. If he's not getting into the end zone, he is not worth putting in your fantasy lineup, and I think that's going to continue. And I think that the Ravens are realizing just that Lamar Jackson can throw. They knew he could throw, but they're realizing that they can win games on the back of his arm.
Watch out. Oh, man. If they keep playing like that, that is scary for the rest of the league. If Lamar Jackson all of a sudden is the best passer in the league, too. That was one game, but, God, he's so much fun to watch. I love him. Mm-hmm. Max wants to know Sutton and Chubb for Aaron Jones, PPR.
Nah.
I'm keeping Sutton and Chubb. It's not enough of an upgrade for me to give up both of those players, but that's a close one.
Aaron Jones is an upgrade over Chubb for me, but they're pretty much in the same tier still.
Right. Agreed there, Josh.
I don't want to give up Sutton. Yeah.
Alex and Godwin, Brown, Fournette, Emmanuel Sanders. Who should be my wide receiver 2 in flex? So which Brown is that? Yeah. Is that Antonio Brown or is that AJ Brown?
Or Marquise or AJ? It doesn't matter. The answer is Godwin and Brown, unless it's Malcolm Brown. No, it's a wide receiver 2. Well, yeah, it's whatever Brown it is.
Godwin and whichever Brown is on your team. I think I agree with you, Josh. It doesn't matter what the answer is. It's still going to be Brown. All of those wide receivers: AJ Brown, Antonio Brown,
it's making me realize how many
Brown.
Good Browns there are. Wide receiver Browns. What's up? So
you could start all of those. I would start all 3 of those wide receivers over Fournette and Sanders in your flex.
Absolutely.
Jake has a question. Thanks. Who do you guys think I can trade Miles Sanders and Julio in a package for?
I wish you gave us like a little bit like what position you're going after or something like that. But like, let me just think in terms of tier of player. So Miles Sanders, the perception's pretty low on him. So I don't think people are valuing him too high. And Julio Jones really hasn't played the last couple of weeks, and he still has the injury he's dealing with right now. I do expect him to play, but
maybe David Montgomery, like while he's injured, like that would be a stretch.
Maybe like AJ Brown.
There you go. You might be able to go get AJ Brown, Jake.
But a lot of people have Julio and AJ Brown very similarly ranked. Calvin Ridley, I would do it for.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting Calvin Ridley with these two players, but you could try it, Jake. This is a tough one because Miles Sanders has like near zero trade value right now. You're really going to struggle to package Miles Sanders and get.
You could get Darrell Henderson. Yes.
Again, I just feel like that's a pipe dream, getting Darrell Henderson for these two players. Would you accept Miles Sanders and Julio for Darrell Henderson? No way.
No,
right?
No.
Not
I'm trying to give him like what he could try to get. When I'm trading these two players, that's what I'm trying to get at least.
Yeah, that's what I would be trying to get as well. This is a tough. I know people always want to trade the players that are disappointing, but that's always a tall order. It's much tougher to get trades done with those kind of players, Jake.
This is a little bit of a weird one. What about Darren Waller?
I would do it. I would trade Miles Sanders and Julio for Darren Waller.
Me too.
I think that's a good trade. That's a good one, Josh. Nice. Hey. Darts wants to know OBJ or Pittman in standard this week. I'll go Pittman.
You kind of almost are forced to go Pittman with the way OBJ Odell Beckham just hasn't shown us anything.
We've got a tough matchup against the Cardinals this week. That's not a great matchup for Baker, so I'm knocking all of his receiving options down a peg. I'm going Pittman here. Yeah, that hurts.
It's got to be Pittman, but I'm telling you guys, Odell Beckham's going to have a blow-up game.
He will.
Within the next 3 weeks. I guarantee you he has a fantasy game with over 25 points. I bet it's happened. I bet it happens, but I'm not calling my shot against the Cardinals this week. It's Pittman.
Oh, good God. Mr. Grapefruit said, my 10-team running backs are CMC, likely out, Zeke. So there you go. You got Zeke, CEH, IR, Monty, IR, Damian Williams, COVID list, Patterson, I'm bye.
Sorry to laugh.
I'm sorry, Mr. Grapefruit, Mr. Pomplamoose. This is a rough week for you, man. So he wants to pick up Bolden, Ingram, David Johnson, or McKissick.
Oh, that's so gross. But thank you for giving us the context. So, we might have made fun of you a little bit more. I'm going Brandon Bolden.
I'm going McKissick against the Chiefs. I think McKissick, the receiving back in that what should be a shootout and receiving only back against the Chiefs. I'll start McKissick for the upside because what you're doing here, Grapefruit, is you're just taking a shot with this RB2 spot, expecting nothing, hoping for the most because, you are in a rough position with bye weeks and injuries. I'm going McKissick. Are you going Bolden, Josh?
No. I changed my mind. I actually didn't even notice McKissick back there. Mark Ingram.
Oh, it is a standard league,
carries. I will say that.
It's a standard league.
That's why So Mark Ingram, just because he's getting carries, he's not someone I want to play, but is he the most likely to fall into the end zone? Probably in my mind.
I'm probably still going McKissick, even though it's a standard league, just because I think he'll be involved in the offensive game plan, but it is close. That's a tough one, Mr. Grapefruit.
I think I lean Mark Ingram.
Okay.
And I don't love saying it.
You got one Mark Ingram and one JD McKissick and 2 apologies for the position you're in.
Yes.
Bambo wants to know, with Damian Williams out, does Khalil Herbert get 100% of the snaps, or does Ryan Nall get any snaps? There's no way 100%.
Yeah.
The expect other backs to be involved. Khalil Herbert should get the majority of the snaps at the running back position in my mind, but they'll get other backs involved. What do you think, Josh?
Couldn't agree more. No running backs get 100% of the snaps. Like Christian McCaffrey is the closest, but even he doesn't,
Nope. And JL in here with the reminder for everyone watching. If we're helping you out at all, or if you just like coming in here and making fun of us, hit that like button on this video. We are here on Tuesdays and Thursdays answering your questions. And then Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. playing fantasy football games. So make sure you come in, hit that subscribe button and like this video. Jake has another question. Herbert from the Bears, Tim Patrick, Ruggs for flex. Who are you flexing here, Josh?
In case you didn't hear, Jake, Damian Williams, he was put on the COVID list, which in my mind, being put on the COVID list this late in the week means he's not going to play this weekend. Got to keep an eye on that because if Damian Williams doesn't play, this changes a little bit, but it looks like right now Herbert's going to be the starter for the Bears and get the majority of the carries. It's Herbert. Easy.
Yep. Agree with you. If Damian Williams is out, it's Herbert. If not, I'm probably going Tim Patrick. I've liked his involvement in the offense. So it is Herbert. If Damian Williams is out, then Tim Patrick for me.
I think Alex was saying Antonio Brown to the A Brown thing, maybe.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Brown. We were talking about all the Browns.
So Antonio Brown. It's still Antonio Brown and Chris Godwin, even though they're on the same team.
Yep, it is.
John Luke said, would you trade Emmanuel Sanders for a 2022 third in non-Superflex dynasty? In my mind, this depends if you're contending or not. If you're not contending, I would get whatever you can for Emmanuel Sanders while he's still in the league. If you are contending, Sanders is a depth piece that could help you win a title this year, and it's not worth a third. Like, this is a truly team-dependent one in my eyes. Josh, how do you feel?
2022 thirds are not worth much. I've been looking just a little bit into this upcoming draft class. It looks like we do have some top-end talent. It looks like it drops off hard, in my opinion. Yeah. If you're not contending, though, Emmanuel Sanders is not going to help you much in the future, in my opinion.
How old is he? Like
35 or something, I think.
Like, not just kind 34? Of old. Like, for a wide receiver, he is 34 years old. Yeah. This is the kind in Dynasty. If you are not competing, if he's not going to help you win this year, literally just take whatever you can for him because he's not going to be playing for very much longer. Just value. Any value you can get is where I stand on that one.
And then also, if you're not contending, just something to keep in mind in Dynasty, like Emmanuel Sanders, he's going to score points, and sometimes you want to just ship off and
especially if your league does potential points for determining draft order, like a best ball style points for determining draft order. JR has a question here. Dynasty, would you trade Trevor Lawrence for Lamar? Yes. Yep. If you've got someone offering that, go get Lamar right now. That is coming from a Clemson fan and a Browns fan. Lamar Jackson is the truth. Honestly, maybe Dynasty quarterback number one. He's right up there with Lamar and Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. You've got to put him in that conversation.
You mean Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, sorry,
Lamar's
Patrick Mahomes.
Up there with Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, Lamar's up there with Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen. Those are the four. That's the conversation.
Absolutely.
Trevor Lawrence
please do it.
He hasn't even sniffed that conversation yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And depending on if it's a super flex or a one quarterback league, you could add some pieces onto Trevor Lawrence, and I'm still taking the Lamar side.
Yep. Tyler wants to know, how's it going, guys? How do you feel about Kyler Murray? He got hit last week pretty hard, and he's on the injury report with a right shoulder injury. Should I start him this week against my Browns? Yeah. If Kyler Murray's the kind of player, if he plays, you're starting him. And even if he's limited, he's probably a better option than 99% of the other quarterbacks out there. And the Browns secondary just got a little bit exposed by Justin Herbert last week. This is coming from a Browns fan. I'm fine starting Kyler Murray this week. Not just fine. He's a must start. I can't imagine benching him. Like there's like 5 quarterbacks you could possibly bench him for in my mind.
Yeah, he's absolutely a must start. The shoulder injury is concerning, but until we see him not play well because of it, I will say last year, I believe he also had a shoulder injury halfway through the season. And the first half of the season, he was on an MVP pace and it absolutely affected him. So, but at this point, he's a must start still. Must start.
Yep, completely agree with you there. Unruly Drips just got put in a pickle. So we got some real running back pickles this week. CMC out. Damian Williams out. Mixon is hurt. IDK if he plays. Do I pick up Latavius Murray or AJ Dillon? So your RB1 is Darrell Henderson. Your RB2 is going to be Joe Mixon, unless for some reason he doesn't play. I expect him to play. But Josh, for a safety net, in case Joe Mixon doesn't play, would you rather plug in Latavius Murray or AJ Dillon?
It's Latavius Murray. I said I don't want to play him. But he's going to get the majority of the carries for the Ravens offense. He's a threat to fall into the end zone every week. AJ Dillon is absolutely the backup who's getting more work. I'd rather have Latavius in my lineup this week.
Yep. Agree with you there, Josh. Shane Joe has a question. Any upgrades? His team is Taylor, CMC. Is that Jonathan Taylor? I'm guessing. Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Moore, AJ Brown, Waller, Knox. Then bench, let's say Devonta Smith, Tim Patrick, Michael Carter, Elijah Mitchell, Tony, Mooney, and Tannehill and Judy. Who's your quarterback? Is what I want to know. Which one of those is it Tannehill?
Yeah, that's the
the only upgrade I would be looking for is at quarterback. I think check if Taylor Heineke's on your waiver wire, at least for this week. That's an upgrade with the matchups. Taylor Heineke going up against the Kansas City Chiefs is a great start for me, and I'm not excited at all about starting Tannehill this week. Josh, any other area here where you would be?
This team's loaded.
Yeah.
I mean, your running backs are sick, and then your top 2 wide receivers. I mean, I guess if you start 3 wide receivers, that would be concerning because it seems like you only have 2 wide receivers I really trust in, and AJ Brown hasn't even shown it to you this year. Don't worry about AJ Brown, but no, this is a good team. It's a good team. I wouldn't be too worried here. You probably have a good record if I had to guess.
That's quarterback is the only position I'm worried about. Everything else is good. Yeah. And in a 1 quarterback league, it's not that big of a deal, but you can probably upgrade Tannehill. I might just start streaming in a 1 quarterback league instead of just plugging Tannehill in every week. Play the matchups off your waiver wire, Shane, and that'll be an immediate upgrade for you, I think.
And we talked about it we kind of put Tannehill in an emergency start category, actually. I would absolutely start guys like Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Joe Burrow, Sam Darnold, Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, all these guys over
Derek Carr.
Yeah, I said Derek Carr.
Did you say Carr already? Sorry, against the Broncos.
No, it's all good. I would start Carr over Tannehill.
Yeah, me too.
That's the line though. That's right there where it is. Derek Carr.
Albert has a question for us: Fant or Schultz? Full PPR. It's Schultz for me. You can't ignore his involvement in the offense thus far. He's had an insane target share. I don't expect it to stay that high, but I'm going Schultz. And Josh is frozen, but we will get his opinion whenever he comes back. We're going to keep on going. Untamed Music says, last week I traded Hawk, Schultz, Boyd, and Corey Davis for DK. Oh, there you are, Josh. We'll get your opinion on it. Fant or Schultz, full PPR.
It's got to be Schultz. It's got to be Schultz at this point.
Yep. I'm trying. I was a bit sticky on tight ends this year on moving some of these guys up because we see flashes all the time from tight ends and they fizzle out. But Schultz and Dawson Knox are the 2 players. Finally, I have moved up into guys that you probably should be starting every single week. So Schultz and Knox have moved up into that tier for me of pretty much you're starting them if they're on your team.
I'm usually not a big guy that likes to have 2 tight ends on my team in redraft leagues, but I don't want to drop Fant either. I still think there's a lot of upside there, but Schultz, until proven otherwise, he's just getting too many targets to put on your bench.
Yep. JR says, when you have hundreds watching in the near future, will OGs get priority or nah? JR, we love that you've been an OG. We'll always have time to answer your questions, and that is an optimistic viewpoint, my man. But we appreciate the positive feedback.
You will not be forgotten, JR. There's no doubt.
Do not worry. You are an OG. You've been here since the beginning. Untamed Music says, last week I traded Hawk, Schultz, Boyd, and Corey Davis for DK. You can stop right there. I mean, am I wrong? Right? That's a little much, but in my mind, you're fine. You got DK Metcalf out of it.
You need to throw in the Goddard part because of he needs the tight end to play.
Yeah, you're good. Good trade, man.
I'm a little concerned with DK without Russell Wilson, but he's still DK Metcalf. He's gonna have blow. He's
still DK Metcalf for sure. Okay, guys, sorry, catching up on the questions in here. I promise we're going to get to them. Bam said, half PPR with Damian Williams out. Do I flex Sammy Watkins, Devontae Parker, Amon-Ra, Renfro, or run the double tight end with Fant and Gesicki? So, Josh, which of these players are you flexing? Sammy Watkins, who did get injured in the last game. Do we have any updates on him? Devontae Parker, if he plays, Amon-Ra, Renfro, or Fant and Gesicki?
It's between. Well, I don't want to play Devontae Parker. I don't think he's going to play. We'll see. I don't want to play Devontae Parker. But if he's completely healthy, he's probably the pick. But Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Renfro, it's kind of between for me. Quintus Cephas is out probably for the rest of the year with broken collarbone. Hunter Renfro is getting so many targets. It's a half PPR. I lean Amon-Ra, St. Brown, actually.
It's close. I mean, but Josh, you hit on what I was going to hit on. Amon-Ra, you can't ignore his targets the past 2 weeks. He's gotten 8 targets the past 2 weeks in that Lions offense. You can't ignore that. Now, I do view Renfro as a little bit safer. If you just need 10 points, 10 PPR points, it's half PPR. Man, it's between Renfro and Amon-Ra.
the half point sent me to Amon-Ra. Like the full point. That's how close they are,
Because I think Amon-Ra's targets are a little bit more valuable than Renfro's targets, but Renfro's a safer option. If this was PPR, I'd go Renfro. Josh, I 100% agree with you. Half or standard, I'm going Amon-Ra here. But full PPR, I would go Renfro. And if you just need safety, you can go Renfro. He's gonna get those targets.
I think that's a great point. If you're just looking for 10 points, Renfro is my choice.
Listen to his targets so far: 9, 7, 6, 8, 8 receptions, 6, 5, 5, 6, 6. Like he's steady. He's solid.
Less than 5 catches any week.
Any week. He's had a minimum of 5 catches every single week so far this season. That's safety for Hunter Renfro right there. Mike Evans, Zoom. Mike Evans for Neto Brandon Cooks. It's Mike Evans.
Absolutely Mike Evans.
Swamp said, "Who dat? Welcome in, Swamp. Glad to have you here." And Swamp said, "I completed a trade. Please don't yell at me. We are going to yell in excitement, I think." You got AJ Brown. Woo! Do you prefer the AJ Brown side of this?
Good job, Swamp. No, this is a good trade.
Good trade, Swamp.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's out for for a large majority of the season. Yeah, AJ Brown's side, even regardless.
Hi, Anthony. We miss you. Hope the new job's going well. He said, "Hi, Simon and Josh. Hope that your new job is going well. We've missed you in the chat." Jay said, "Who should I play if I have Cup and Metcalf?" So Metcalf with Russell Wilson out or Cup. I'm going Cup.
It's definitely Cup. It's close enough when they have Russell Wilson in there and no Russell Wilson. So
Shane Joe hitting us with the we asked who his quarterback was because he said Tannehill was on the bench. Taylor Heineke's your quarterback. You followed our advice before we could even give it to you, my man. Way to go. Taylor Heineke's the start. That's a solid
he's a good
team.
Start this week. Yeah. Great start. Taylor Heineke should be just fine against the Chiefs this week.
Cab said Bird up.
Up.
Anthony has a question. Tony or Julio Jones this week? Josh, are you starting Kadarius Toney or Julio Jones? Do we have news if Tony's playing or not?
I think that honestly, I think they're both in kind of the same boat. Like kind of their practice.
Let's assume they're both playing, and Shepard's supposed to be back, right?
Yeah.
So Shepard's going to be back on the field.
And then AJ Brown's obviously back with Julio Jones. I think. I mean, there's another factor we have to mention is that Daniel Jones might not play. If Daniel Jones was playing, it might help Tony a little bit. I lean Julio Jones myself.
Yeah, it's close. If Daniel Jones if I knew for sure he was playing, I'd probably go Tony, but no, you know what? With Sterling Shepard, I want to see a week with Kadarius Toney on the field with another one of their wide receivers. I'll go Julio Jones. But it is a little bit close.
And it's more like Kenny Golladay played half the game, I believe, last week. But Sterling Shepard and Kadarius Toney, they play in the same part of the field.
They had Kadarius Toney involved in the slot last game, and that's where Sterling Shepard eats. So I'm curious to see, was that just because Shepard was out, or are they wanting to get Toney involved in that slot role, which was not what we expected from him coming into the league. He wasn't necessarily like a prototypical slot receiver, but they were using him that way last week. Some, not exclusively. But I am curious to see how the roles divvy up with the receivers back. Marty says, "Sup guys, redraft. Would you drop Terrace Marshall Jr. for Chris Evans half PPR?"
No.
You could.
I mean, you could. Yeah, I don't really feel the need to have either of these guys on my team.
Who are you more likely to start, Terrace Marshall or Chris Evans currently?
Terrace Marshall.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Evans, what has he shown us? He hasn't shown us anything that shows we can start him,
I was that went right over my head. I was, who's the receiver for the Texans that I was thinking of that was targeted by?
Moore.
Chris Moore? Chris Moore. I was thinking of Chris Moore, and that one was going to be a little bit closer. Chris Evans. Yeah. I'll keep Terrace Marshall over Chris Evans, but Chris Moore, I actually might be interested in picking up. I think if you need a player to start, I'd probably be more likely to start Chris Moore this week than Terrace Marshall.
Yeah. Terrace Marshall has a lot of upside. We liked him coming into the year, but he's a rookie.
Shane said he's 1-4 with that team.
I actually, after I said your team's probably good, I realized how many injuries you had, and I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, that is close. Andrew said, PPR, should I keep Jacoby Myers in my flex or should I pick up Khalil Herbert?
Khalil.
Yeah, I would pick up Khalil. Jacoby Myers is safe. He's getting the targets, but he's allergic to the end zone, as our guest on the stream yesterday said. If Damian Williams is not playing, I'd rather start Khalil Herbert in my flex.
Freaking-lutely. I like Jacoby Myers. Don't drop Jacoby Myers for like. I don't drop Jacoby Myers if you don't have to. But I'm not starting him over Khalil Herbert being the only person in that offense.
Josh, how do you feel about this trade? Kamara, Gaskin, and Tyler Boyd for Aaron Jones and Najee Harris. You would take the Aaron Jones and Najee side, right? Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Do not cancel that trade. If they take it, then take it. But I wouldn't cancel that offer.
Kamara is slightly above Aaron Jones and Najee for me. Yeah, he is. But Najee, he's having an outstanding season. He's right next to Aaron. Both these guys, you could put them all in the same tier if you really wanted to. Kamara is at the top of the tier, maybe. Gaskin and Boyd they don't make up for it.
Yep, agree with you there. TB is back, wants us to rate his team. 12-team PPR, Herbert, Burrow, Kamara, Swift, CEH, Darrell Williams, Khalil Herbert, James Conner, Mike Williams, Terry McLaurin, T. Higgins, Kenny Galladay, Dalton Schultz, TJ Hawkinson, and the Rams D. This is a very good team. And you somehow survived some of the running back horrors with Kamara and Swift as your starting running backs. Put you well above other teams. And you've got Mike Williams. This
Herbert,
is an A+ team, TV.
I'll put it just under A+, just under A+. It's an A that, like, you know, if Schultz keeps up his target share throughout the season, which I'm still a little skeptical about, but if that's he's Hawk too. Oh my God, it's an A+ team.
Yep, A+ team, right? This is a very good team, TB. Nice work. 12 teams. Oh, this would be a pretty good 10 team. This is an A+ team in 12.
A really good 10 team league.
Thank your league mates for letting you acquire that team because that is phenomenal. JXC said Kupp, Metcalf, Hollywood, Lockett, Julio, and Tony. He needs to start 3 in PPR. Appreciate the dubs every week from y'all. Well, we appreciate you coming in with the questions, and I'm glad it's been at least a little bit helpful so far. So, Josh, which of these 3 are you starting?
Easy. It's the top 3 easy. It's Kupp, Metcalf, and Hollywood.
Yep, completely agree with you there. It's not close for me. Those 3 are the clear starters for my mind. And TB said, I drafted pretty well in my humble opinion. I agree with you.
No joking.
And JL said,
you did.
It's in the game. It is in the game. Fantasy Future said, office hours are my favorite hours. Happy Thursday night football, y'all. Yeah, I'm excited for the game tonight. Should be fun. Jefferson, Miles Sanders or Josh Jacobs, PPR? It's Jacobs for me.
Josh Jacobs. Miles Sanders. Yeah, he's getting more of the share, though. So he's not going to have a good week this week because he's playing the Bucks. I'm assuming he's not going to have a good week, but he's not. But it's still Josh Jacobs.
And then Jay said there may be a Hunter Renfrow video on our page. So if any of you guys have some questions about Hunter Renfrow or want to learn a little bit more about him, our boy Jay, G-Man Jay on Twitter, did just record a very awesome video breaking down Hunter Renfrow for you. So make sure you guys go check that out. It is on our Twitter page at Front Yard FYF. You can find that video. It's also on our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy. So if you are on our YouTube channel, just click on videos after you're done here and go check out his take on Hunter Renfrow. It's a really good video. Swamp has a question for start 4 half PPR. Devonta Smith, Thielen, AJ. I'm guessing AJ Brown, Marvin, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Unless it's AJ Dillon. But I took it as AJ Brown as well.
Yeah, AJ Dillon or AJ Brown.
Assuming it's AJ Brown. St. Brown's the odd man out for me. I know Marvin Jones didn't give you confidence to start him last week, but I am giving him another shot.
Yeah, St. Brown is the odd man out for me as well, if this is AJ Brown.
If it's AJ Dillon, then
AJ Dillon's the odd man out for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So Swamp, dependent on your AJ. And then he said, I like how Josh
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown, yep. Then Amon-Ra's the odd man out for me. Swamp says he likes how you answered Terrace Marshall with no eye contact.
Terrace Marshall.
Craig has an important question. How are you all so awesome? We fake it. It's all a lie. We're not.
Well, that's how Simon does it. It comes naturally to me.
And then Jay said it's an optical illusion. And Swamp saying, can't believe you picked up Herbert last night for nothing. Nice pickup, Swamp. Nice job.
I did too. Just in a couple of leagues, just just in case.
We got Justin here. He said, yo, what's up, guys? Start 3 PPR. Melvin Gordon, Latavius Murray, Chuba Hubbard, Herbert. I'm guessing Khalil Herbert, Bolden, Bateman. His team is banged up.
Mm-hmm.
Which 3 of those are you starting? It's Chuba. Assuming CMC's out. It's Chuba exactly. Hubbard. Assuming Damian Williams is out, it's Khalil Herbert. Yeah, so double stars on those first 2. But those are definite starters if those players are out. And then I think it's between Melvin Gordon and Latavius Murray. I'll go Latavius Murray just because he's they're in similar situations, right? They're going to be splitting work there. I'll take the better offense and go Latavius.
I think Melvin Gordon has more juice than Latavius. I go Melvin Gordon.
Okay, so we agree on Chuba and Herbert, assuming the starters ahead of them are out. Josh would go Melvin Gordon. I would go Latavius Murray, but those 2 are neck and neck for me. Yep, there we go.
That sums it up. And real fast, Christian McCaffrey, he's 50. In my mind, Herbert's going to start. Christian McCaffrey, they're saying 50-50. If Christian McCaffrey's in there, let's just hypothetical real fast. What do you do then?
Then I go Gordon, Murray, and Herbert.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not starting Bateman week 1 back into the offense.
Hell no.
I'm just not doing that. And then Bolden is a last ditch, absolute emergency start.
Mm-hmm.
JR wants to know, Kadarius Toney or Rondale Moore this week? Josh, where are you going on this one?
I don't like that Kadarius Toney's dealing with this injury. I don't like that Sterling Shepard's coming back. I probably lean Rondale Moore myself. I don't like that Daniel Jones might not play. If everything pans out, if they're saying Kadarius Toney is completely healthy and Daniel Jones plays, I'll go Toney. If not, I'm going Rondale.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there, Josh. That's how I feel about it as well. But those are close. Sure, Colin wants to know, what's your update on Damien Harris and Dalvin Cook? Josh, do we have any update on these players' availability? Mr. News.
Damien Harris, I don't have an update. I think they're both going to be good to go for this week. Dalvin Cook's just dealing with that nagging injury that just kind of plagued him for a few weeks now. I think he's going to be good to go. Damien Harris, it looks like it wasn't anything serious. Damien Harris should have had 2 touchdowns last week. He really should have. He started out the game. He was going to start out the game so well, but then he fumbled it away. I'm not saying start Damien Harris, but he's shown more than the stats show, I think.
Cool. And then we'll run through these real quick, Josh. I'm going to come to you on these if you have any updates. Tyreek Hill, any update? Injury-wise?
Yeah, he wasn't practicing. It's not looking great, honestly. In my mind, he's like a 50-50 shot. So you got to monitor that.
Hunt and Chubb, what do you feel about them? I agree with you there. And then Justin Jefferson, are we expecting him to play?
Yes.
Yep, expect him to play as well. Now we've got another question. Jamar Chase, Antonio Brown, Josh Jacobs, and Devonta Smith, PPR start 2. This is an easy one for me. It's Jamar Chase and Antonio Brown.
It is, but hey, the fact that you have to make this decision, you got a good
team. Yeah, that's pretty fun. Chris Carlock wants to know T. Higgins or Cortland Sutton PPR. Where are you going with this one, Josh?
I'm going Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton,
and I'll go T. Higgins. But they are in the same tier for me. But I understand
it's Cortland Sutton because I think he is the primary focus for this offense. If they want to throw the ball, it's Cortland Sutton's the guy, and T. Higgins it is not. He doesn't the second option. Involved. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I lean Cortland Sutton.
I get that. I like the I think T. Higgins has that role carved out. There was a weird week for him last week. I don't think Jamar Chase is by and far away the number 1 target on this team. I do think it's a 1A, 1B scenario. So I have a similar level of confidence for starting T. Higgins week in, week out, even though there is another mouth in that offense that needs to get fed. Mm-hmm. Justin says, Julio, Toney, AB, Deontay Johnson, and Woods start 2 PPR. Josh, which 2 are you starting?
Deontay Johnson's a must start going forward unless he's not playing, especially with Juju missing the rest of the year. He was regardless, but I think he just gets more targets and AB.
Yep, 100% agree. That's exactly what I was going to say. Johnny Fant says full PPR at flex. So I start Emmanuel Sanders, Laviska Shenault, Brandon Cooks, or Damien Harris.
Oh no! It's
Brandon Cooks. Now you hit us with a slightly tougher one, Johnny. But I agree with you, Josh. I think it's Brandon Cooks. I wish it was Laviska. It should be Laviska. Everything about this screams it should be Laviska. But until we see them actually do something competent with that offense, it's not Laviska. It's Brandon Cooks.
You're right.
It hurts. It hurts. Justin said start 3: Hollywood, Mike Evans, Scary Terry, and Jamar Chase. Now it's a little bit tougher. Now you hit us with a slightly tougher one.
You're mean.
What the hell kind of team is this, Justin, with those receivers? That's pretty
mean.
Good. Mike Evans is a for sure for me.
Scary Terry is a more for sure. He's the number one out of all these guys.
And then it comes down to Hollywood or Jamar Chase. Is there no way to fit all 4 of these guys in your lineup? Man.
I mean, how can you bench Jamar Chase at this point?
Yeah, I don't think you can.
I hate benching Hollywood. This is like the 3rd question this week I've gotten asked where I was like, I always said bench Hollywood. He's so good. It seems like you almost want to say he's a must start, but obviously he's not.
Untamed Music. I like this one. Theoretical. Give up Antonio Gibson and Chase Claypool for Cordero Patterson and Deebo Samuel. Which side are you taking? And if it wasn't for my concern with the Antonio Gibson stress fracture that he's got in his shin, I believe it is, I would take the Gibson Claypool side of this. But Deebo Samuel is an upgrade at wide receiver in my mind over Chase Claypool. And Patterson will continue contributing even if we expect his workload to fall. I'll take the Patterson and Samuel side of this trade. Josh, where are you on this one? This is an interesting one you posted for us.
I don't like this. I don't like this because you said it, Simon. It's that fractured shin that bothers me. I mean, they're saying he's good to go. He's not actually limited. They're saying good things about Gibson, and they gave him a good workload. Claypool is actually closer to Deebo Samuel for me, probably than most people. So I have a lot of trouble with this question. A lot of trouble. I don't think if I had Gibson and Claypool, I could make this move.
So if you had them, you couldn't make this move. So it's that close.
I think I could do it either way. It's that close. It's just like I just don't even think I could do it. And trading's fun, but I just don't know if I could do it.
I'm ever so slightly on the Patterson and Samuel side, but I completely understand what you're saying there, Josh. Justin wants to know start 2 PPR, OBJ, Melvin Gordon, TJ Hawkinson, and Dawson Knox. Which 2 of these are you starting, Josh? Is there a world where it's the 2 tight ends?
That's what I was just contemplating in my head. Justin, are you just trying to hit us with some tough ones here? It's both the tight ends.
I think it's both the tight ends, Justin. I think you're starting TJ Hawkinson and Dawson Knox here, and that's a weird one. But that's what I would do. That's where I would go here. That's
gross. But yeah, it is. That's what I would do too.
Yeah. And just so you guys, we're giving advice based on like what we would do on our teams as well. So we're not telling you to do anything that we wouldn't then go do in our lineups. Yeah. And I would start the 2 tight ends. That is a weird one though. Albert says Jamar Chase or Amari Cooper, full PPR. Josh, where do you stand on this one?
Jamar Chase.
Man, what are their matchups? So Jamar Chase is going up against Detroit,
and Amari Cooper is going against New England. And I'm going to just tell you this real fast, why I am pretty easily on the Jamar Chase side. It's Amari Cooper's receptions. Week 1, he got 13. He's gotten the same amount of receptions every week since week 1, and it's 3 receptions every week for 4 weeks straight. It's concerning for me.
Yeah,
no more than 6 targets.
I expected them to be throwing a lot more than they are, but they are not. You know what? I think I agree with you, Josh. I think I'm going Jamar Chase as well, but it is very, very close.
Hey, move aside. Move to your left, I think, a little bit. Yeah.
I love Amari Cooper. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL. I'll go Jamar Chase, though.
Yeah, it's Jamar Chase.
Okay, we got a couple more questions, and we're going to be wrapping up shortly, guys. So we'll try to answer the rest of your questions that you have in here. Kev wants to know, do the Eagles have a chance tonight, Josh? Do you think the Eagles have a chance?
The Eagles, wait, tonight? Who's playing
tonight? They're playing the Buccaneers tonight.
No, they don't. So he asked me this last week. So Sunday morning, he actually asked me this. He texted me and said, do the Eagles have a chance to win today? And I said, yeah, they definitely have a chance. No, this is a little bit different this time, Kevin. They have a chance. Any NFL team, any given Sunday kind of deal, but I'm not trying to bet on it. He's asking me for a bet. I know he is.
No,
he's going to bet on this game.
I would not. That would be tough. But you know what? This seems like the classic, like everyone's on the Bucs side, then all of a sudden the Eagles come out and do something. But I would not bet on it at all. Brendan said, Would you trade Ridley and Mike Evans for Diggs? Thanks for the QB rankings too. Absolutely not. I would not do that, Rendon. I would keep Ridley and Mike Evans. Josh, you agree there?
Do not do that trade.
Bam wants to know Hollywood or Edmonds flex. So Hollywood Brown or Chase Edmonds? Hollywood for me as well. JR says Gaskin versus the Jags. Yeah, I think he's a startable player versus the Jaguars this week. Josh, how do you feel about Gaskin?
Yeah, he should be in the majority of lineups, probably. I think that they're going to use him in the passing game, especially.
So Gaskin or Jacoby Myers?
Is it it doesn't really matter. I'll lean Gaskin. But it's really close.
Yeah, this one's close for me. I'm not. Man, they are so close, aren't they? I'll lean Jacoby Myers. Actually, I think I'll just take the target.
I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you did that so it's like because I could see it going either way.
Yeah, I'll lean Jacoby Myers.
Is playing Dallas. I could see Dallas putting up a lot of points, which will force the New England.
You know what?
Throw.
But the Dallas secondary has been better than expected so far this year.
It has.
I'm still going Jacoby Myers. I like the targets that he's been getting. I'll take that guaranteed in that offense. It is close, though. Marty says, need 3 Herbert. So Khalil Herbert, Chuba Hubbard, Edmonds. So sit my Philly RBs. Correct. It's dynasty. So he's got both Philly running backs. So would you start all 3 of these guys over Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell this week?
I mean, Chuba Hubbard, we don't know if Christian McCaffrey, let's just say they announced that Christian McCaffrey is most likely going to play right now. I would be starting Miles Sanders over Chuba Hubbard.
Yep, that's the
risk. We don't know that,
here,
and we're not going to know that. So, and I don't want to start the running backs in Philly. Oh my Lord. I'm probably holding out, and I hope you have another option, maybe.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Get a backup plan in case McCaffrey plays, but I'm trying to roll with Herbert, Hubbard, Edmonds. And if McCaffrey plays, just some bad luck right there for you. Swamp wants to know if Mike Williams doesn't play, who replaces him in his lineup, Higgins or Hollywood? Hollywood.
Hollywood.
It is Hollywood. Then Johnny Fan wants to know Hollywood or Jacoby? Hollywood right there. Justin says, if Hill doesn't play, do I start Javonte, A-Rob, Waddle, or Darrell Williams? PPR. Josh, what do you think on this one?
Darrell Williams.
Darrell Williams. Yeah, I'm looking at these other options. It's Darrell Williams. He's a projected starter right there.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's see, Brady or Hurts from JR. So these are both kind of must-start quarterbacks. You're starting Brady tonight, or I guess both these guys are playing tonight.
Yeah.
I'll go Brady.
I will say it concerns me a little bit that Brady has this thumb injury, and Jalen Hurts can run, but it's Brady.
Yep, completely agree with you there. We got another quarterback question right here. Kirk Cousins, Danny Dimes, or Sam. So not Danny Dimes in my mind. We don't even know if he's playing. So it comes down to Kirk Cousins or Sam Darnold, and those guys are back-to-back in my rankings. They're playing each other, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're playing each other. It is literally flip a coin between Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold. Man,
Sam Darnold.
I'll lean Darnold as well, but it is very close, Justin. It's very close. If CMC is back, it's a definite Darnold. If CMC is not back, it's a coin flip in my eyes.
Hold on. Rendon came in with a little update there. No, he has Diggs.
Oh, do it right now, I think.
Yes, sir.
Ridley and Mike Evans. Go ahead and
I'm telling. He's just like, I'll do it right now.
Yep, that is 100%. Untamed wants to know, is Darnold to start in 14-man this week? I think so. He's right on that line. He's probably like a 14, 15. He's like a top 15 quarterback in my eyes.
Yes, he is. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, he's a start.
Okay, and then we got 2 more questions real quick. Pollard or Sanders PPR?
Ew. I don't know. It's probably Miles Sanders. No, I don't know. Who's Pollard? Pollard's playing New England. Yeah, New England. Man,
is there a chance they just shut down Zeke and Pollard can eat? I'm not sure.
I mean, Pollard's getting work. He's getting over 10 carries every game for the last 4 weeks. We can't say the same about Miles Sanders. It's probably Pollard, actually. And I hate it. I hate that it's Pollard. I hate that it's Pollard.
Too. Johnny said Hollywood, Julio, and Edmonds choose 2. It's Hollywood and Edmonds for me.
Me too.
There we go. Swamp said, I wish there were only a Hollywood question so y'all can just keep saying Hollywood.
Marquise. It's Marquise.
Yep. Jacob said, I accepted a trade where I got Mike Evans and James Robinson, where I give Mike Evans and James Robinson. I get Austin Eckler. Good move. I'm all about it. I think you maybe could have gotten Eckler for less, but this is fine, especially if you're stacked at wide receiver. I would want to see your team to make sure this was okay. That is quite a bit to give up, but Eckler is one of those running backs that I think is like a top 5 guy rest of season, is a difference maker on your team. And I don't view Mike Evans or James Robinson in that way for your team this season. So I'm fine with this move. Might have been a bit of an overpay, Jacob, but I'm fine with it. You got Austin Eckler. You can't really be mad about that.
I have trouble with it. I couldn't make the trade.
You couldn't make it?
I think James Robinson, I'd much rather have Eckler than James Robinson, but James Robinson's close enough to where I don't know if Mike Evans giving up, if you're not starting Mike Evans or something.
Yeah.
Maybe, but Mike Evans is every week start, and so is James Robinson. I know Eckler's an upgrade, but I don't think I could do it.
He's got DJ Moore, Tyreek Hill, and Antonio Brown for more context. So it was what I assumed. I assumed you were loaded at wide receiver if you were offering that trade. Again, I think it's a bit of an overpay, but I'm fine with it, especially with the wide receivers you have.
Sure. I don't like it, but yeah, I'm fine with it. And so I think that's probably going to wrap it up for us today, guys. It was fun doing these fantasy office hours. Just to remind you guys, listen, we are here every weekday, Monday through Friday, playing our fantasy football game show, 3:00 Eastern time. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays during the season, we do these fantasy football office hours. We were answering any questions you guys may have starting at 4:15 Eastern time. It was a fun day, guys. And I see there's a couple more I can cover real fast here. Is A-Rob not going to play this week? I think he's supposed to play this week, but at the same time, you can't feel comfortable starting him, right? Henderson and Lamb is way better for Eckler. Yeah. It's about the same in my mind, honestly. But guys, that was fun. We're going to get out of here. I hope everyone has a great night. Has a fun time. Thursday Night Football tonight. See you later.